Hey, today we're going to talk about a very important topic because if you're watching this video, you know the importance of email marketing. You know the importance of the digital age and how to reach the digital customer. I don't need to throw out a bunch of statistics. We all know that most customers are going to the web to do their shopping. But one of the things we need to do to be very effective and to capture more of those customers is to build an email database. The biggest challenge we have right now as car dealers is we have very few email addresses in our DMS. Basically, the average dealer has anywhere from 2 to 10% of their customers' email addresses in the DMS. Now, if you're a Toyota dealer, that number's a little different because Toyota, for the last 5 years, has been putting a huge push and incentive for their dealers to collect email addresses. So basically, if you're one of those dealers that has very few email addresses in your DMS, you have a big problem. But in this session, you're going to learn how to fix that problem. The first and easiest way to improve that is utilizing a product or a service called email appending, or as I call it, email matching. I like email matching because, quite frankly, who knows what appending means? But email matching is very simple because what we do is we simply take your customer database, people you sold cars to or service, and we cross-reference it with a huge database of 120 million consumer email addresses. We cross-reference it and we match up good, valid emails. Once we have those good, valid emails, we provide them back to you. Typically, email matching, or as a lot of people call it, email appending, will return to you anywhere from 20 to 30% of good, valid matches. Now, there are a lot of providers out there, and the price ranges anywhere from, on the low side, 10 cents. And I've seen some companies, DMS providers that are integrating it into, charging as much as $1. You really need to find a vendor that knows what they're doing and can make sure you get good, valid matches. One of the things I will tell you is you want to make sure that you're getting an active email address. Let's face it, most people already have multiple email addresses. Anybody who signs up for cable TV or Verizon high-speed internet access, they are automatically assigned an email address with that account. But how many of people actually use that email address? Very few. So a lot of times these email appending or email matching services are matching you up with that email address because, quite frankly, it's the easiest one to attain because they know that you've got Verizon high-speed internet access at your home, and here's your home address. So Verizon gives you this email address. It's very easy to match up. But if you never open that email address, you're going to be sending emails to someone who never reads them, and more importantly, you're paying for something that is not usable. So let me just summarize that again. You want to make sure that you're getting an email address that is an active email address, not just one of the many email addresses that a lot of people have. This is a great product because, like I said, you're getting from 20 to 30% of your customers' email addresses in a matter of 30 days. Sometimes a little bit faster, but you really want to, not rush the process so they do it properly. The next thing that you can do to build your email database is to simply utilize your cashier. And what I recommend is you pay her a little spiff. I have some dealers that pay as little as 25 cents. I have some that pay $1 for every email address that they collect when they're basically cashing someone out. Think about it. Service is one of your busiest areas, dealing with more customers on a daily basis than any other department in the dealership. So now, as that person is picking up their car to take it home after being serviced, they've got the computer screen right open. They see right there in the information, and it's right there. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Customer. I noticed that we don't have an email address on file for you. Could I get one so I could add you to our family of customers? Now, I will tell you that a lot of times the customers are reluctant to give you an email address. That's why the next line is so important. Mr. Customer, I just want to let you know that we will not sell or give out your email address to anyone else. It's only for us to use to provide communications with you. And it's also pretty helpful if there's ever anything special that we need to tell you about your car, like perhaps a recall or maybe a special service message, or we may be having a special event we want to invite you to. So, please give me your email address. And I have some dealers that are collecting, 30, 40 a day through this process. It's a great way to do it, and you're bringing those people into your system. The other reason why I like that is, as we know, we have a lot of what I call visiting owners. These are people who bought a car somewhere else, but they're actually having their car serviced at your dealership. And a lot of times, because they're a visiting service customer, we never gathered their information because we didn't sell them a car in the first place. And right now, what the biggest place where they're collecting email addresses is in F&I when they're delivering the vehicle. So if you're looking to build your email database, here are 2 very simple tips. Number 1 is using the email appending or email matching service, as I like to call it, or provide an incentive to your cashier to have her start collecting email addresses. And once you have those email addresses in your database, it gives you the foundation you need to go out there and effectively start communicating with your customers. And we're going to talk about communications, how often you should do it in some of the other segments. But once you have this database built, it's very important that you protect it. And when I say protect it, I mean do not allow people to just start sending out mass emails, because you're spending time and energy and money to build this database. And the last thing you want to do is start spamming these people, and the first thing they do when they get that email from you, or that second or that third or that fourth spam message, is to hit the unsubscribe button. So if you're going to invest the time and energy into building an email database, you need to take the steps to put a plan in place to properly utilize it so you don't offend your customers and have them unsubscribe, or worst case scenario, report you as spam. Looking forward to talking to more in other sessions. We've got a couple important questions to make sure that you got the information before you move on to the next segment. But looking forward to talking to you in the next segment.